Noxubee County supervisors are now taking the next step in working together under the county unit system. An official road plan is now underway, projected to help maintain roads all through the county, like this one. The economy doesn't seem to be taking a toll on students in their spring break plan. The MSU Health Center hopes their Safe Spring Break program gets its message across. Not all of the students here at Fairview are going to grow up to be astronauts or scientists, but teachers hope that with trips like this one to Space Camp, at least a few of them will be inspired. If you're suffering from allergies this season, a prescription may not be necessary. An over-the-counter remedy may be all you need. Pontiac will continue with distribution until around the end of the year, when they are expected to halt production for good. In Columbus, Jessica Ward, WCBI News. After years of planning, Noxubee County celebrated the grand opening of the Macon Treating Company this morning. The Noxubee Alliance and Thomas & Company came together for a ribbon cutting honoring the opening of the plant. The treating plant is a sister company to the East Mississippi Pole Company. The Thomasons have invested $6 million into the two companies, $3 million into the treating company alone, with hopes of improving their growth, along with the growth of Noxubee County.
1 year ago from today, we had the lowest unemployment rate that Noxubee County's had in over 10 years. And now we're looking at one of the highest unemployment rates we've seen in quite a long time. The global economy, it's pushing us all pretty hard right now. Well, today we're pushing back.
Approximately 30 new jobs will be opening up for Noxubee County at the new facility. The Noxubee Alliance is hoping that the hirings are only the beginning of reducing record high employment rates in the area. Andrea, back to you. Starkville continues efforts to improve its looks. A proposed ordinance to pretty up the city will mean a few changes for some residents. College students could be most affected. Starkville Mayor and Board of Aldermen are set to discuss an issue that may affect the way you lounge around outside, as well as the way rummage sales are handled around town.
Well, there was an ordinance brought before the board that was the work of our beautification committee and our city planner that was going to discuss a variety of issues, including the placement of couches on porches, the issue around yard sales, visibility of clotheslines.
According to the ordinance, upholstered furniture or furniture not specifically manufactured for outdoor use, such as recliners, mattresses, coffee or dining tables, and chairs, must not be visible from the street. That includes side yards or any uncovered porch, patio, or deck. Along with furniture, storage items, such as firewood, will have to be hidden, and clotheslines must be out of sight.
Well, I know that the issue of clotheslines was a point of concern from some people, because especially as we're trying to promote ourselves as a sustainable community, you know, one of the best things people can do as far as conserving energy is to put their clothes out on the line. And there was all these restrictions in the ordinance that it couldn't be visible anywhere from the road, and it seemed overly restrictive.
As for rummage and garage sales, a person must obtain a permit from City Hall in order to hold one. Then they'll have to follow several guidelines.
I've had a number of other people come up to me and tell me that the issues of things from yard sales to how your firewood can be stored, which all was in this ordinance, was a cause of concern.
More discussion is set for Tuesday night in the third public board meeting. The goal is to beautify the city without making the process too ugly. In Starkville, Jessica Ward, WCBI News.
Me, myself personally, I think they was looking for somebody else.
Around 9:30 Wednesday night, Columbus police responded to a call at the Jamestown Apartments where residents reported an attempted home invasion. But the invaders had the wrong home.
We heard the doorbell ring once. They rung again, and I slightly cracked the door, and he asked to speak to Chris before I could say anything. And I told him that there was no Chris that lived here.
That's when the men began pushing the door in and gunfire broke out.
I began to try to get the door closed. My dad had came down to try to help. And they began to shoot in the house, and me and my dad had to quickly close the door. After we closed it, we just got down, basically. You can see right there on the door where a bullet went through the door to the stairwell where we were standing. They probably unloaded a whole clip in the glass.
The suspects are described as two black males who appeared to be in their teens. They fled the scene on foot and are still on the loose. Bullets managed to hit the television and walls in the house and even put a hole in one of the victims' T-shirts. Yet luckily, everyone walked away unharmed.
We're just thankful nobody got shot, nobody got seriously hurt or anything. We're very thankful. You hear about stuff like this all the time, but you never would think it would happen to you.
Call Golden Triangle Crime Stoppers at 1-800-530-7151. If your information leads to an arrest in this or any other case, it can earn you up to $1,000. Your call will remain in complete confidence. We don't want your name, just...
When Officer Aisha El-Amin began training at the Mississippi Law Enforcement Office Training Academy, she knew not to expect any special treatment because she was the only woman.
I was held to that same standard as the men. So I ran right alongside them. I did push-ups right alongside them. Everything that those guys did, I was right there.
Little did she know that a few days into training, she would find herself leading the men through training.
Becoming a platoon leader, actually, it came by surprise to me. I was chosen on day one of our 10-week journey, and from that day forward, I was in a leadership role.
Officer El-Amin led 34 men through the training camp and made history as the first female platoon leader in Mississippi when she graduated on March 26th.
It's a source of great pride for us to have an officer that attained this ranking at the academy, and the first one of her field to do so.
Law enforcement is a career field that more females should get involved in. There has been the history that this is a career only for males, but now I think that I've proven that females can be successful in this profession.
Chief Lindley agrees and encourages more women to consider the field.
We intentionally go after women officers because we feel like that's the future of law enforcement.
With Officer El-Amin making history, they are hoping the stereotyping of police men will change, allowing more women to break through that glass ceiling.
Every one of those 34 guys that I led, they're all great guys, and they all have faith that I can do the job as well as they can. And for any female who may think that they can do the same thing, I encourage them to go ahead and apply. They can make history as well.
Jessica Ward, WCBI News, Starkville. Have you ever thought about which words sound pretty or ugly? It might take you a minute to decide.
In my opinion, the most beautiful word is to tell somebody congratulations. The ugliest words have to be you are unqualified.
The most beautiful word is going to be compassion. Ugly would be disappointment.
That's the question Dr. Robert Wolverton asked his students in his quest to find out what they deemed beautiful and ugly. He did this study for the first time back in 2001.
Well, to begin with, as I said, I was fascinated by the fact that as I listened to students, they tended to use the same words over and over again. And then I wanted to see, too, if I could separate out any particular patterns between what the girls thought were pretty and what the guys thought were pretty and ugly.
Women, among 90 total words turned in, the most common beautiful words were eloquent, lavender, love, and tranquility. For the men, 61 beautiful words were turned in, their most popular being eloquent, magnificent, symphony, and zephyr. As for ugly words, women listed things like phlegm, puke, moist, and mucus. Men found words like dump, slaughter, bile, and even xylophone ugly. Some words appeared on both the pretty and ugly list, including onomatopoeia, splat, and serendipity.
Many of the beautiful words are longer than one syllable. Many of the ugly words are only one syllable. Most of the most beautiful words have the L sound, because that is very nice.
He also noted that most beautiful words originate from Greek, Latin, or classical language, while most ugly words can be attributed to the Anglo-Saxon language. Over his years of doing this survey, he's noticed a few changes thanks to the internet sites such as Twitter and Facebook.
The variety of words is growing, and I attribute that to the technology. I think just the world out there you can access so much more easily now, and I think that has made a terrific impact on the number of words, the variety of words that students and all of us use.
Jessica Ward, WCBI News, Starkville.